Hi, I'm Anne.
And I'm not.
And we're from the podcast
Albumble.
This episode, we're sponsored by...
Bacon.
Sorry, can I say it first? It's the meaty treat you can't beat.
The bit of a pig that beats wearing a wig.
If you're hotters for trotters, as that say?
Yeah.
If you're hotters for
if you're
if you're hotters for trotters,
have a nasher on a rasher. Albumble with bacon.
Okay, fine. Now I know what I'm saying.
No, that's the version we're using.
Oh,
that's
shit.
got to be the version we're using.
I don't think we're cut out for the
Paid reads
of podcast world.
Okay, but I mean, it's very generous of the bacon people to support us so well for doing that. Bacon.
Bacon. No, not that.
No,
not that one. That's a different bacon.
Yes. Hello, welcome to Albumble.
I'm Anne.
I'm not.
But we've already done that bit.
Yes.
Before.
And this podcast where we album talk about.
Yes.
Welcome along.
Hello, everybody. We are a winter-free zone.
Are we?
There's no mention of skis, skates, or curlers.
I mean, that's going to age really well, isn't it?
Yeah.
When somebody's been saving up this particular episode of Albumble to listen to on their beach holiday in Marbs.
Yeah.
And they're led on the beach with their iPod Classic playing Albumble episode. Oh, this is quite a lot.
Yes.
And they get you doing quips about winter.
Yeah. Well, it might be too hot. They're going, I'll go and book my winter sun.
Right. Okay. What? So they're booking another holiday while they're on holiday?
Yeah, why not?
Who lives like that?
People.
Yeah, okay.
Some people do.
Right.
Right. So it was your choice this time.
It was.
And we have been listening to
Pop Couture
by
Youth Sectpr.
Not the other way round.
No.
It could be the other way round. I could imagine a band called Pop Couture.
I think they'd be a bit insufferable, though.
Yeah, they do sound a bit up their own bums.
Yeah.
And yes, have you got anything to say about this album before we start?
So the band have been going for about 4 years or so, I believe. They've been releasing music over that time anyway. This album has been a fairly long time in appearing. And as we'll discover when we go through it, a couple of the tracks of it are things that they released about 3 years ago.
Okay, right.
So it's quite interesting. There's a lot of bands who sort of get around to releasing their first proper album and then don't include things that they released early on.
Yeah.
Which can be then quite difficult to get hold of.
But they're quite inclusive.
And yeah, I think they've taken a look at it as to what are our 11 best songs rather than saying what are our 11 newest songs.
Yes.
And I think as a work, it benefits from that approach.
Okay. Right, shall we get on with reviewing it then? Or is there anything else you want to...
I don't know, is there any news? I must admit, I haven't looked at the news.
Really... To be honest, we've been too ill.
Oh, okay.
Haven't we?
Yes.
Yes, because the boy was ill.
Yes, I possibly sound a bit
then
gruffalo.
I was ill, and then you've been a bit ill.
Yeah.
And it's just been ill.
Yeah.
Not in the, sick, as in it's well sick.
It's well sick, innit? I've been illing, man.
Yeah. No,
I've been illing all the way down the street.
We mean ill as in the proper version of the word.
As in, happy winter in the UK, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we will catch up with the news in the next episode, I dare say.
Yes, I'm sure.
I'm sure there are some things that are round and about. The only thing I will say is Pulp did one of the Radio 2 piano sessions last week. I discovered on my trawl through things I may have missed on the radio today. Haven't listened to it yet. Don't know if it's any good, but hopefully it is.
Okay.
Right.
That's an Easter egg.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not Easter yet, though, is it?
No, but Easter eggs have
Really?
been in the shop for a good 2 months
That's
now.
since Boxing Day.
Oh, before Boxing Day. You could buy the...
Yay, Jesus is born! Yay, Jesus has died! That's how it works, isn't it? The Venn diagram.
But what happens for the rest of the year?
Um,
We need another Jesus-based activity around the August bank holiday.
okay.
I'll leave you to ponder that
Okay,
one. All right?
yes, right.
I'll leave his love with you, darling. Right, okay, let's continue. So I'll start by introducing this.
Yes.
I was introduced to this band by Steve Lamacq, as an awful lot of my music tastes from the past 2 or 3 years have been. On his overnight 6 music show, which used to be called Recommends, then was called New Music Fix, and stopped being broadcast early 2025, I believe.
Oh, right.
Which I was really annoyed about, because basically that was the last place that new shouty kids with guitars making music would actually get played on 6 Music. And given that this week we've had the announcement that the BBC are seeking permission for a new station called 6 Music Indie, but we've heard what their indie branded shows on 6 Music are, and they're not new indie, they're all old stuff.
Britpop.
It's from the Britpop era through the noughties.
Yes.
It's exactly the same stuff that Radio X covers. Absolute do a bit of that. Virgin do a bit of that as well. So I'm a little bit annoyed about that, because I would much rather they had some outlet, a regular outlet on 6 Music for new indie guitar-y.
That was the point of it, wasn't it?
Well, it used to be, but you listen to it now, everything's got to be experimental and everything's got to be
avant-garde and cool.
And there are an awful lot of sort of themed sessions that go on over the course of days and weeks and things like that, which I think ignore the base of what people actually used to like listening to the station for. Okay. But anyway, I'll stop being a miserable old git and get off my soapbox.
I do have a couple of things I want to say before I start.
Okay.
So they look a very jolly bunch, I have to say.
Yeah.
That's not always reflected in them lyrics. Their lyrics are quite political.
Yeah.
If not necessarily, you can just tell they're not angry, but you really have to listen to it.
Yes. Yeah.
And you know that, they do look like if Devo had been from Nashville and liked gay saunas.
Okay.
That's what they kind of look like.
Yeah.
But their music is not quite as showy or happy as the outward might be. Or have I got that wrong?
No, I appreciate that. They are a band I would very much like to see live.
Yes.
Because I get the feeling that there's an awful lot of a lot more funk going on live than perhaps there are. And I think it's quite nice to hear a band making political points who are doing it with a bit of swagger, with a bit of style about them, rather than your earnest kid with an acoustic guitar making or just somebody who wants to cover Gautier and just rip off all his music and just go over the top going, anxiety, I think I've got anxiety. Anyway.
Yeah. So should we crack on?
Yes, I will say the copy of this album I bought is one of what's called the Dinked editions. Which is a sort of high quality vinyl pressing. Ooh. It's in glorious yellow and orangey pink colour. Okay. Where it does look fantastic as a piece of art in itself. And the way it's all put together, they've clearly done a lot of thought about the design, how they want it to look.
They're from Brighton.
Yes.
Which, are they quite arty? Would you say they were arty, or do you think they just know what they want? And what they want is well-produced, bits of kit.
It's definitely looks what I would term as sort of art school indie.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Belgian bands who make that sort of sound as well. And I mean, this isn't a million miles away from people like Compact Disc Dummies.
No.
I could also hear, although A-Brand are a lot heavier with their sound, I can hear a lot of that sort of approach in it as well. So yes, yeah.
Should we carry on then?
Yeah, we shall. Track 1 is God's Work.
So I have entitled this track The Soft Launch.
Yeah.
Because I actually think in retrospect, this does not indicate a lot of what is to come.
No.
It's a very nice song. It's a steady anthemic track. There's a nice mix of synths and real instruments, but is not quite what the rest of the album is.
No.
So it's a kind of nice intro track.
Yeah.
It's got a very the anthemic chorus. It did slightly annoy me though that this song isn't called Hallelujah, which is what it should be called, rather than God's Work.
Yeah.
But I can understand why it's not called that.
Yeah. I thought as well it was quite a bold move to start it off with. It feels like a tempered statement of intent.
Yeah.
A lot of bands will go all out on their first couple of tracks on the album and then sort of tone it down a little bit, perhaps have the more considered stuff. They appear to have gone the other way round.
Yes.
Which I've got no problems with.
No.
I like all the late 80s style stabs that are going on through this.
Yes.
Which felt a little bit Pet Shop Boysy to me. The synth work in the final bridge, I think, is quite exciting in the way it builds up. You get the feeling if they were playing this live, that could be extended.
Yes, they could go on forever.
Yeah, and I get the feeling they've tried to catch that sort of excitement in the studio, which is a very tricky thing to do. And is never something that is easily achieved by people. So track 2 is Crime, which opens as a sort of a tight, funky pop song and then widens out in the chorus into a more sort of dancey workout, if anything.
Yeah. I've put quite similar things. I've said it's a funky disco number. Although I think this is where I first noticed that the tune and the instrumentation seem to be layering one idea.
Yeah.
But the lyrics were telling quite a different story. There seems to be a theme. I don't know if they've had a bad time with record companies or agents or gig promoters, but there seems to be a lot of, in this album, work-related / pay issues.
Yeah.
Either feeling like you're not getting paid enough or you're not getting what you're worth or you're being used. I possibly guess that being musicians, especially in the past, people have been fobbed off.
I also get. I must admit, I don't know their history of.
No.
This album was released on Dance to the Radio, who are a Leeds-based label. I think they're Leeds-based anyway. Who are sort of well-known supporters of indie music and getting bands out there. So I don't think it's a rebellion against their current income by any means. I think that sort of lyrical sentiment is something that comes across quite a lot from younger bands. It's sort of a frustration as to how difficult it is to get out there and do this sort of thing now. There's another band with quite a similar name who are called Public Body, who I've got their... I think they've released 2 albums, and I've got both of them. And it's their first one was... which is called Big Mess, was sort of very much based around fury of the mundanity of everyday life. You can tell that band have worked some office jobs and have been furious about doing it, or about the people they've been working with at times. So I think that's quite a common theme amongst bands of this generation. The influences in this really interest me because I can pick bits out of this that come from all over the place.
Yeah.
And yet what it's filtered down into is something that's actually a really tight, well-constructed 3.5 minutes of pop music, which I thought was really clever. Track 3 is Fit for Purpose, which I think is the first track on the album that sounds more as though it's one idea that's been fully executed, rather than lots of different ideas coming together as a gestalt entity.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it has ambitions of being an anthem for a big room, although the potential chant-along power of "Don't Bite the Hand That Feeds You" at the riff at the start possibly could be held back to the first chorus, because I think that would really come across well to the audience.
Yeah. I think this is another one of those songs about kind of the youthful aspiration being tempered by
the frustration of reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
My favourite line from this was where the singer says, "This isn't Make-A-Wish." Which is terrible.
Yeah.
Because obviously Make-A-Wish is quite a... it's very sad that charity has to exist in the first place.
Yeah.
But I quite like the way, I've almost got it in my head that this is written or sung from like a very oh gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? A very bitter estate agent.
Oh right. Okay.
You know, kind of like all about, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You should be grateful you're here anyway.
Yes.
Yes, very much. I think I'd concur with that.
Yep.
Track 4 is Buy for Less, which has a fury behind it, which I think is quite at odds with a nice refined sound.
Yes, there's a very. I mean, I've said it's quite a violent ending.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what that was all about, to be fair.
I think this song, I had to listen to this about 4 or 5 times before I worked out what it was. I think it's the forthrightness of the verses I'm expecting to come through to a more almost euphoric or convicted chorus than it actually comes through to. And it feels like all the way through it's a little act of misdirection. It's sort of sending you, oh, it's going this way, it's going, no, we're swerving off now.
Yeah.
I think that ending probably falls into that category as well.
Yeah.
Track 5 is Spitting Image.
Go on.
Obviously it's got a nice persistent, so almost straightforward indie rock.
Yes, this is quite down the line,
it.
Really, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the lyrics are very playful in this, but I think this would go down really well in a hot, sweaty room at the back in the Exchange in Bristol.
Yes.
Or elsewhere. Other venues are available.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in this song there's a lot of more of that frustration, more of that kind of wanting to take control, not want to be questioned.
Yeah.
Although I think my favourite line, I think it's from this song, let me just check, is where this says about you can only smell the shit when you're in it.
Yeah.
Which yes, could be said about quite a lot of people.
Yes.
Really, couldn't it?
Yeah. How modern times are.
Yes.
And the final track on side 1 of the album is The Ball, which is the one that I know the best, because this is the song that introduced me to the band about 3 years or so back. It's delightfully spiky, and I think it's possibly the oldest song on the album in terms of what they released as singles. Obviously, what they released as singles and what actually existed and in the creative process, I don't know. But yeah, I really like this because this feels like a lot of funk influences that all get together, and the result of it, I think, is really strong.
There are a lot of earworms in this tune, with the bass line and the kind of the chanting of da 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 da, you've got the bar, that bit. I quite like the undercurrent of almost looking at blame culture. About the fact that who takes the blame and who actually is to blame are not always the same
Very
people.
Much so, yeah. So we flip over and start...
Oh, is this where the...
This is where side one finishes. And we start side 2 with House Proud and Bedbound, which, I'll be honest, is probably the song that sold me this album.
Oh.
When it was... the week it was released... this popped up on the new releases list on Spotify, attached to this album, and I thought, oh, that's good. I haven't heard anything by Youth Sectpr for a while. And I think this is fantastic. Amazingly, this is one of the least listened to songs on Spotify.
Yes, do you know what? I can kind of understand that, because it's not, again, a bit like track 1 of side 1.
Yeah,
this song, it's not quite the same as the rest.
Okay.
Not that that's a bad
You see, I think this
thing.
has got a real euphoria to it. I think you get to that chorus, the house proud and bedbound.
Yeah.
And it's, I know lyrically it's delivering something different.
Yes.
It's another act of misdirection.
Yes.
But the way it's delivered, I find totally infectious.
Yes. I think maybe a lot of people hear the words rather than possibly listen to the tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I found this song. It's about kind of how do you drive yourself to ruin.
Yeah.
And how you keep up a facade.
Yeah.
To the point where it's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's almost about selfishness.
Yeah.
The selfishness of kind of having all this stuff, but you can't get yourself out of bed.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a lot of people who might be in a similar situation. There's illnesses and things like that, but some people are just not, should we say.
You see, I did wonder whether it's more sort of a focus on working yourself to a pulp to demand all that society demands of you, and then being this person who has everything
but
whilst
also
being
has nothing,
completely unable to enjoy
it.
Again, completely at odds with musically the songs put together. But I mean, it's a theme that keeps coming up. And also on the next track called Prime Time. This sort of opens into an expansive, joyous celebration, which couldn't be further away from the lyrics.
Yes. I basically put here GB News.
Yeah.
This is basically a song about the vacuousness of certain people who purport to know everything but actually know nothing, which kind of follows on from that, but this is much more bombastic and a bit more funky almost. I think maybe the last song is a bit too nuanced, maybe. This one's more in your face, almost. Or maybe that song's warmed you up, and then this one you're ready for the let's bash the Rees-Mogg, take this.
Let's smash the fash.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
More about Dan Tickdom later.
You had to do it, didn't you? Track 9 is Here Comes the Fear, and the eager pace of prime time continues through into this song. The intro to it alone has a huge urgency to it.
Yes. Am I allowed to say that I was slightly disappointed that this was not a cover version of the Doves?
Yeah.
Because, do you know what? I think I'd like to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I did think, that's not very this, is it? You know.
I mean, in fairness, this is called Here Comes the Fear. That is, There Goes the Fear.
Oh, yeah, so maybe like it's the beforehand.
I mean, ideally, there are two songs that could quite easily be played in tandem.
Possibly. So, yes, I actually thought this sounded quite Eurovision-y.
Really?
Yes, I could see this.
Okay.
Being, yes, I did. I quite, you know, there was a lot about kind of that balance of kind of popularity, wanted to feel like you're doing well.
Yeah.
With kind of not feeling like you're doing enough, feeling like you can't win.
Yeah.
Which, yes, kind of follows on from a lot of the other themes that we've had on side one.
Yes, yeah. I thought this was sort of almost Mancunian in its execution.
Yeah.
With the sort of the heavily layered sing-along refrains that you've got going in there. And this strikes me as it should be the sort of thing that goes down an absolute storm with a field full of people at Glastonbury.
Yeah. Have they done any like?
Oh, they'll have done.
Say clubs.
They will have done some festivals.
Yes.
Whether they did Glastonbury on one of the tertiary stages last year, I have no idea. But track 10 is Break Something. Thankfully, not a Limp Bizkit cover. No, I think that was them.
Yeah,
wasn't
something like that. Yes. I unfortunately used a word to describe this that you might not like. I said this is Killers-esque.
There's no need for that.
I know, like early.
Well, yeah.
I can kind of see this as a kind of early Killers type number.
Yeah.
I don't want to say. Oh, I will say it. Because they've kind of formulated their ideas.
Yeah.
You get to a point where, not that you've heard everything. I don't. Do you know what I mean?
Do you mean you were no longer being surprised?
No.
At this point?
Yes.
Okay. But then,
I didn't expect to be though.
But,
I
know of plenty of albums that do surprise you in their sort of final movements.
Yes.
But I also then again know of plenty that don't.
Yes.
It's yeah. I quite like the fact that this is sort of moves on a bit from the frustration into becoming something of an anthem against conformity.
Yes.
In this, and wanting to break out of the things that you've spent the last half hour complaining about. And I think it's an interesting way to do this in what is a quite interesting pop song structure. And finally, we have track 11, Not Coming Down.
Yes, so we had a soft start,
yeah,
and we have almost a bit of a soft end, with a kind of military feel to some of the drumming and some of the ways that the lyrics are delivered.
Yeah.
So I feel like this is kind of, again, boiling down all the ideas that we've had in the rest of the album.
Yes.
I particularly liked the couplet of blood is the new sweat, apathy's the new threat.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the blood, sweat and tears isn't good enough. Neither is you can't work well enough, and you can't work less enough.
No, I know what you mean.
But I think this was an interesting song to end on.
Yes, it's another sort of in the sort of anthems against conformity and acceptance and reducing your resistance to things.
Yeah.
Which I quite enjoyed. I thought it was quite an anthemic way to finish the album. I don't think it's quite as reserved as you thought it was, but yeah. Okay, we'll see you the other side of the jingle.
Okay.
Right, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I found that quite a difficult album to talk about.
Yes. I agree.
Possibly because I like being in the world that album is in.
Yes.
Because it is a bright, poppy, occasionally spiky world.
Yeah.
But trying to condense those thoughts into reviews of individual songs.
Yes.
I found quite tricky.
Yes, it does work very well as an item.
Yes.
To put this in grocery terms,
yeah,
it works well as a big loaf, but not as slices.
It works as a hamper.
Yes. But not as just as the individual bits.
No. Which bearing in mind that the only thing really I knew from this band for a long time was one single, which I enjoyed very much, does surprise me somewhat because I do quite enjoy generally singles bands.
Yes.
Who are very adept at the construction of the 3-minute pop song.
Yes, which I was going to ask you about. So, what songs from that were actually singles?
Right. Well,
because I have to say, generally, quite often, you will pipe up and say, and it's the first single that they released off this album, but you didn't say any of that. So I was like, oh, were they, like nowadays, people just release albums and people just listen to them and then they go in the charts like they're a single, but they're not actually a single.
Yeah.
Is that a thing here or?
Not as much. I mean, I suppose we could look on their Spotify list as to what's been promoted as singles. They released an EP. Oh, they've actually released it twice through. I think they released it on their own the first time and then through Dance to the Radio with additional songs on it called Quarrels.
Okay.
And The Ball was on there both times. And has also made the album. If we have a look as to what's in there, live Googling, folks.
It's not Googling it.
That's
So Spotify.
Looking up a list on Spotify. So show all. So they released Crime, Spitting Image, Break Something, Buy for Less, and God's Work, all as sort of promo singles before the album came out. I mean, obviously, none of these had physical single releases.
No, they were just in the ether.
Yeah. Here Comes the Fear has also been out as well. Quarrels has been out. The only song that made it from Quarrels onto the album was The Ball.
Yeah.
There was also Free Parking was released prior to that, and a number of other songs.
The Ball
as well.
seems to be a. Do you think they just put The Ball on everything because it was like the well-known song?
Right, the way that people tend to do Spotify releases now is if you're releasing a song and then you're releasing another one a little while afterwards, you'll put the new song as track 1 and then the previous song as track 2.
Right.
Because then that gets more listens to the previous song. Then you do that again with the third one and again with the fourth one.
Sounds like I went shopping and I bought an avocado. I bought an avocado and a banana.
I assume it's some way of making Spotify work to your advantage.
Okay.
But yeah, their first songs out were 2018.
Oh, right.
Was Dig It and Repeat.
So they've been going a fair
So,
while.
yeah, have been going there for a fair while.
Okay.
But it's difficult to judge what you would actually think of as a single in the traditional sense, because that sort of thing just doesn't exist in
Yes.
in the physical digital world now. So
yeah.
But yeah, I was although I very much enjoy being in the realm of that album, I find it quite difficult to talk about. I'd quite like them to do a concept album.
Yeah, I think they'd be good at
Yeah.
getting their teeth into something like that.
Yeah.
I think something. So I mean, this has the kind of almost the idea of a concept album.
Yes.
Because they have got a few ideas that they want to shell out, which they do in that album.
Yeah.
But not quite. It's still quite commercial.
Yeah. I think if they were to do something that had a full-on narrative to it,
Yes,
I would very much be there for that.
Yes.
So, anyway, where would you like to take us next time?
We're going not too far away, but not too near either.
Hove?
No,
Worthing?
no, not that. No,
Tarring?
no. We're going to France.
Oh, Tresbeans.
Yes, literally, we're going to somebody called France.
Okay.
So I'd like you to listen to the 1987 album Babacar by France Gall.
Okay.
Eurovision's France Gall.
Eurovision's France.
However, this was a very long time after she won Eurovision.
Yes.
Almost 20 years.
Okay.
But this was like her big... Well, I don't want to say comeback, because she did actually have an album out a few years previously to this one. But this was like her big...
This was the successful
one.
Yeah.
And does have possibly a few songs on there you might know.
Oh, okay.
So
Right, we can
there
look
we go.
forward to that then.
I also chose this because it's relatively short as well.
Okay.
And the fact that
You tried to
February... No, listen, hear me out. We've already wasted a week
Right.
because of being ill.
Yeah.
And February is already short.
Yeah.
So I thought we'll have
For short.
for short. So I think there's only 9 tracks on it, and it's just over half an hour.
Okay.
So it should be... I have actually got this album somewhere in this house,
Oh.
but it is also on Spotify.
Okay.
So if you'd like to listen along, you can do, and
Yep.
come back and find out what we thought about it.
Okey-doke.
Go and share, tell your friends about Albumble. You can subscribe, share,
Yeah.
make pictures of us.
Find our cards in phone boxes in Soho.
Yeah, just shout it out your window.
Yeah. You know,
Stuff.
there was a thing on the Hour back when it was on the radio saying that Nick, the Radio 4 programme called Nick Ross has been got rid of. I can't remember the exact words. Been got rid of because it was so unpopular. But if you can still call Nick Ross by opening your bedroom window and shouting, "Nick Ross!" So yeah, just open your bedroom window, shout, "Albumble!"
Yes.
And
that'll be great.
yes,
Yes.
and your neighbours will make a complaint about you. Sorry, another complaint.
Yes.
Yes. Anyway.
Right, we'll be back in a few weeks' time then.
Yes, hopefully firing on more cylinders.
Yes, we'll see what other sponsorship opportunities we have been given.
You mean I've got to come up with some other badly conceived shite before then?
Maybe.